So let's do some examples. Let's say find the area of the region under the graph of the function f on the interval -1, 2. Of course, this area under this curve means we need to find this integral, and just to show. And here, of course, you're going to do one at a time, and that's negative x cubed over 3 plus 7x, and that's going to be from -1 to 2. So we'll do this for negative, so you do 2 plus 1 x cubed divided by 3, then you do s7x. So negative 2 cubed over 3 plus 7 times 2, that's for the 2, and negative 1 cubed negative, maybe I should do it just this way so it's clear, since we have another negative there. And then you're going to figure out these numbers. Right, so we should get 18. All right, we should get 18. And of course, as this is an area, it's going to be square wherever units are used. Square units, square feet, square miles, whatever units are used. All right, find the area in square units of the region under the curve. So similarly, we're going to do 1 over x dx. So keep in mind, so this is the important part. This is important note. If you have 1 over x and you find the antiderivative, you're going to do the natural log of x. So you're not using the power rule. If you have 1 over u, 1 over x, let's say squared, then you're converting it to x squared, then you're doing the negative 2 plus 1, right? The negative 2 plus 1, negative 2 plus 1 idea, negative 1 over negative 1, which is negative 1 over x, right? So keep this in mind. When you have these powers, you're not using, you're using this power rule, but when you have 1 over x, you're not using the power rule, you're using the natural log, because that's its derivative. So here, the antiderivative of x, 1 to 9, and that's going to give us the antiderivative. They're both positive, and that's going to be 0, so that's just going to be natural log of 9. Okay. So let's look at this annual sales of certain brand of tablets, similar models we've seen. Now we understand well what these 0 and 6 mean when we look at T, and T here is measured in years, with T0 corresponding to 1997. So how many tablet computers will be sold over the 6-year period between the beginning of 1997 and the end, and so forth for the 2000s. So maybe read it, check it, annual sales in millions of units, kind of think about it and ask, look at the question, how many tablet computers will be sold over the 6-year period? So the accumulation, right? Okay, so hopefully you thought about it and you're ready to calculate this thing. So we have an integral from 0 to 6, because how many tablet computers will be sold over the 6-year period. So there is an not at the 6th year, not at the 5th year, but kind of accumulation from 0 to 6 year, right? Kind of a total being sold. So the area under the curve, which will uh, cover from 0 to 6, right? And 6 here, of course, representing 2002, and kind of f of t dt. So 0 to 6, and that's 0.18 t squared plus 0.16 t plus 264 dt. And that will give us the antiderivative 0.06 t cubed plus 0.08 t squared plus 2.64 t, and this is from 0 to 6. And you see all these have t, so if you put 0, they are going to cancel. So the only one that's going to be here is the 6. And that's going to be 31.68. And of course, this is in millions of units, so millions of units. Okay, so keep it in mind, just a simple way of finding the antiderivative first, not to confuse 1 over u with 1 over u squared. Each one has its own derivative or its own way of finding the antiderivative. Once you find it, if it's let's put a note here at the end. If it's a definite integral, then indefinite integral, then it's this. But if it's a definite integral, right? Let's just show you a simple one. Let's say x 1 3, right? Then you're not going to come up with the family of functions. So you see here, you come up with the family of functions. But if you have a definite integral and you do the x squared over 2, 1 to 3, so, and you just do for the x squared, right? You can keep the half out. Then half is going to be 3 squared minus 1 squared, which is 3 squared is 9, minus 1 is 1, is, so it comes up to 8. So 9 minus 1 is 8, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you come up with the number. Since this is above the x-axis, this is an area, right? This number represents an area. So that's the difference between, they're both, of course, having an area there. Just here, you're coming up with a family of functions as your final answer, unless it's an initial value problem or you have initial condition or some other information to get rid of C. But if that's not the case, if you have a definite integral, then you definitely come up with the number and not family of functions. Thank you.